The Chicago Bears play the Cincinnati Bengals this Sunday in a game that will determine whether or not we will be able to bounce back and take advantage of a team that obviously has been struggling, has a really bad defense, and has a 40-year-old old man quarterback in Joe Flacco, who we know can cook from time to time, but generally is not really much of a threat. This is a game, again, in a similar vein to the game against the Ravens, where we lost that game because we just were not able to present any type of meaningful pass rush, and we did not take advantage of a poor defense in the Baltimore Ravens. Our offense frustrated me, to say the least, in that game because, in my mind, when you're playing against a bad defense, you got to capitalize. Now, did that defense rise a little bit to the occasion and play a little bit better than they had been? I guess you could say that because we scored the lowest points that we had scored in any football game this season, only scoring 16 points. Now, you can argue we should have had more because of that last drive when it really didn't count anymore, so we should have still had 20. Put that aside, we didn't get it, so it is what it is. My thought process is going into the Cincinnati Bengals game, we need to revive that amazing run game we had the previous two games. I'm not saying we necessarily need to get 200 yards rushing between DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, but what I am saying is we need to get pretty darn close to 200 rush yards in this game because that is a very poor rushing defense. There isn't really much of anything that defense does well would have anybody concerned. They give up a lot of points. I mean, a lot of points. So my whole thing is knowing that and knowing the offensive, I guess you could say, inconsistencies. At worst, you can call it struggles. At best, you can call it inconsistencies when it comes to penalties, when it comes to executing, and when it comes to making big plays, how inconsistent we've been throughout the year at that. This is an opportunity where you have another soft defense that you can use to help to kind of build up some consistency and to build up some easy wins, to build up the confidence of your quarterback. My hope is that we finally activate DJ Moore in this game, that this is his first 100-yard game, one touchdown type of performance. Will he get that? Probably not. He hasn't had a 100-yard game yet. He did have that one play at the end, which brought his yardage up to, I think, a season high of 73 yards. Prior to that, 68 was his high. He was targeted the most in that game, so 7 targets. That's a good sign. Although I would like to see 7 or 8 targets. I think that's a good number, 7 or 8 targets, and I would like them to be completed, like 4 or 5 of them. Ideally, big plays. I would love to see at least one big play for DJ Moore, but ideally 1 or 2 big plays that are for like 25 plus yards break off from DJ Moore, and I want a touchdown for him. Rome, I would be okay with just an average game from him, somewhere around 75 to 90 yards, a touchdown for him as well. But if we only get one touchdown, I would love for it to be DJ Moore because I feel like he's been very patient. He's been putting his body on the line. I want to see him get a touchdown. I want to see him have a 100-yard game and him be the focal point in the passing game. But otherwise, I want this to be a game where we just run the ball down the Cincinnati Bengals' throat the entire game. Run that football, run it down them the whole game. And I want to see a game where DeAndre Swift gets a touchdown. I want it to be a game basically like, like Oprah, where it's like, you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown. I just want to see a lot of touchdowns scored. I want to see 30-plus points in this game, but I also do not want to see the Bengals have 30-plus points. I want to see this be a game where the final score ends up being, let's say, Bears 34, Bengals 23. Let's say 34-23. Those first 15 plays that are scripted by Ben Johnson, usually, if they're not money, we can get into field goal range / red zone positioning in those first 15 scripted plays. We need to hit home runs on those. If we get 15 plays, we need to have 9 to 10-yard drives where we run the ball 6 of those 9 times maybe. We need to have like another drive to follow that that's like 12 plays so that we're somewhere in that 20 to 22 play range. I want to see 15 scripted passes that result in big plays, result in first downs, moving the chains, and no 3 and outs in those first 2 to 3 possessions. That's what I would like to see. And if that happens, I think we'll start off with a pretty early lead. I just want to see what the Bears are able to do. I'm going to be honest with y'all. If we lose this game, then it just shows that there's a lot more work that we need to do, and that this is going to be a season of just constantly taking small victories. There's no such thing as a moral victory in my mind, but we're going to have to look at small victories and just hope that we can get things in place for the follow-up season. But those are my thoughts on this game preview. Let me know in the comments what you all think. My final score will be Bears 34, Bengals 23. Let me know what your thoughts are.